Om Shanti. Is God a man or woman? Because major religions refer God as a man, except Hinduism, where there are many male and female gods. In Sikhism, they refer God to be a man, but his power of creation to be a woman, which is right. Yes, the reason we consider God to be a man, though he doesn't possess a body on his own, is because he is the father of all souls. And also, he is the husband of all souls, which means we souls are either sons of God or wives of God, and that God is one. He doesn't take birth like us. We souls take birth as humans. We enter heaven and we start taking several rebirths for 5,000 years, because that's the time period of this entire time cycle called kalpa. But God doesn't enter this birth and death cycle. He stays away from this cycle. This cycle, the half of which was heaven, followed by the next half, which is hell. We enjoy the happiness, wealth, health of heaven for first 2500 years. Then we start to suffer in heaven after losing all the happiness and wealth of heaven. We souls are called either a man or woman based on the body we take. If we take a female body, then we are called women, and if we take a male body, we are called men. But God doesn't take any body, which means he doesn't take birth like us from a mother's womb. So he does not have a body on his own. But the reason he's being called the father or a husband is only these relations can inherit his property to others, either to his wife or to his kids. So God gives us the heaven. He comes at the end of the old world, which is now, and teaches us and make us eligible to enter heaven, because this world is it just continues to be either heaven or hell. So after the completion of heaven for the first 2500 years, it's going to be hell. After the completion of 2500 years of hell, it's again going to be heaven. So it happens, it is nature. But we souls are not eligible to become the residents of heaven, because in heaven the deity, so the residents of heaven are called deities, and those deities are being worshipped by Hindus even now. So those deities, they didn't have the body consciousness. They were soul conscious. They considered themselves to be the soul that shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, which is why Hindus have this habit of wearing bindi in between the eyebrows. So God reveals this. So in the last 100 years of Kali Yuga, God enters an old man's body and he names him Brahma and reveals this secret. the difference between heaven and hell is that you were soul conscious in heaven and body conscious in hell. To get back to heaven, you need to get rid of body consciousness and possess soul consciousness. How do you develop soul consciousness? God says, consider yourself to be the soul. But that's impossible because out of body consciousness for the past 2500 years, we have become slaves of bodily pleasures. Thereby, we got addicted to the five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. These are collectively called sins. Because of committing these sins due to body consciousness, that we are experiencing punishment in the form of diseases and natural calamities. So God reveals this secret in the end just to make us escape from the sins, escape from the punishments for the sins that we have committed for the past 2500 years. To get rid of body consciousness, all we need to do is to first consider ourselves to be the souls, and then to connect our mind to God, who is also a soul. He dwells in a golden red colored light world called the soul world or Parandam or Parlok. Actually, that's where we souls resided along with God before taking birth in earth. So now, after the destruction of this world, anyway, all souls need to go there after leaving the bodies here. So, it is the thought you create soon after leaving this body determines where your soul is going to go. If it is going to think about something of this world, obviously it's going to take another birth here. But if it has no single thought of the world, but is filled with the thoughts of the soul world and the heaven, then that's the only chance of the souls to escape from this earth, from taking rebirth in the old world. So that is called mukti. Mukti means liberation from the sinful world. So to achieve that, you need to remember God constantly, to the extent that your mind is filled only with the thoughts of God and His creation, heaven, the new world. So you need to put maximum effort in remembering God and remembering the knowledge given by God through that world man's body called Murli. That's the direct knowledge of God, which is available in all Rajyog meditation centers, and also it's available freely in internet. I'll give the links of the websites and the YouTube channels that provide this Murli in all languages in the description below. Please make use of it, because that's the only knowledge that we can get only once in 5000 years, directly by God, directly from God. He comes in person to give this knowledge. He doesn't send any of his messengers. If at all there are messengers, it is us who is spreading this knowledge that God has already come and is giving this knowledge. And nobody else is the messenger of God. They are just the religious preachers who came to preach their religion. That's it. They didn't bring the knowledge of God. Only God knows His knowledge. So He has to come to give His knowledge. And that knowledge converts the Kali Yuga humans into Satyug deities. Yes, the Yug that's going to follow Kali Yuga is Satyug. God says those deities were as pure as God. Because they became deities by remembering God and by listening to the knowledge of God and putting their knowledge of God into practice. That's how they became pure like God and entered heaven. Since they were that pure, they possess only divine qualities. So while the soul was pure, it would just express the divine qualities. It is when the souls become impure after entering hell that it starts expressing sinful qualities, devilish qualities like lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. While it was in heaven, it would express the divine qualities like purity, peacefulness, and blissfulness. Not only that, the body they take in heaven would be 100% disease free. It would be ever healthy and ever wealthy, and they would be very beautiful. We usually associate beautiful just to refer to a girl, but in heaven both men and women are beautiful. So usually we associate girls with qualities like gentleness and kindness, softness, and man with courage and arrogance in Kali Yuga. But in not only that, in Kali Yuga, even girls are becoming arrogant. So they are more like man in Kali Yuga, especially now. They fight like man. They do all arrogant things just like man. And also their appearance becomes like a man soon after they reach 30 or 40. But in heaven, both men and women are very beautiful and they are very kind hearted. They would be very gentle. So you can say that both men and women will be feminine there, which means in terms of quality, characteristics, character wise, they'd be like female. They all will be very soft and very loving. That's how God creates man in the beginning. But in the end, both man and women become so masculine, both in appearance and in qualities. Actually, by listening to God's knowledge and putting that into practice, we become like that. So, the knowledge of God is nothing but the characteristics of God. It is by listening to it that we become slowly like God in terms of qualities. So, that's the reason in Bible it is mentioned that God creates man in his own image. Though God doesn't take a body on his own, but still he creates us as soft as a girl, which means that is his character. Though he is considered a male in terms of the relationship like father and husband, but character wise he is filled with feminine qualities. That's why everybody looks beautiful in heaven. Not only that, even in appearance, both men and women will have long hairs even men will not have beards and mustache like we do now, and nobody will get bald. So they will be very beautiful throughout their life. So he makes us just like him and sends us to heaven. He doesn't enter heaven. So that's the love of God. He rescues his sons from this sorrowful world and wash their sins away by teaching them a very simple yogic procedure, which is just to remember God as a point of light and to consider ourselves to be the soul. It's very simple. By doing that, he's making us eligible to enter heaven, but he doesn't come. He doesn't even touch heaven. So such is the love of this Heavenly Father. If somebody calls anybody who was born as humans as God, it just means they know nothing about God. Because no one can be compared to God. He is so selfless. He just gives everything to his children and he lives. Not only that, after taking birth in heaven, we wouldn't remember how we became eligible to enter heaven. So we forgot everything that happened in our previous birth. That's the love of God. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to receive the notification of our upcoming videos, and leave your valuable comments, and please share these videos with your friends and relatives. Thanks for watching.